If your guitar is not intonated properly, you'll never be able to tune it. The first thing you want to do is go to your bridge pickup. And if you can put some distortion on your guitar, it does help to hear what I'm about to explain. There's several ways to tune a guitar. We'll be going through some traditional ways and some maybe a little bit more extravagant ways of doing it. Our first method here is usually the first method that people learn when tuning the guitar. So it's 5 on the fret number, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5. You go up 5 frets on, let's just say, the low E, and you play that note, and you have the open string match that pitch. You want to play them at the same time so you can hear a wave. You know, if you hear too much of a wave, it's way out of tune. You want actually, you don't want any wave. That's ideal. You want the pitches to just match perfectly. Okay, let's go to the next one. Also the 5th fret of the 5th string, and play the 4th string. And we go to the next string, and we go to the D string and play the G string open. And now we go to the 4th fret on the G string to the open B. And finally, the 5th fret of the B string with the 2nd string. And there's a little wave there. I don't know which direction it's going to be, sharp or flat. And it's going to be the string that's the open string that we're tuning. It's better. One little tiny turn. Our next method uses harmonics, which you don't fret the string. You don't press down to fret the string. You place your finger above the fret, which I'll show you in a second, and just touch the string very lightly, and you'll get a sound like that. This is a fretted note. We don't want that. We want this over the fret. And then we want to go, we're on the 5th fret here, we want to go to the 7th fret of the next string. We want to go over or down one string and do the same thing. 5th fret, 7th fret. Next string, 5th fret, 7th fret. Now the B string is a little bit different. So we're going back to our low E string on the 7th fret, and then play the open B string. Now for the E string, there's 2 ways to do this with this method. You can either touch very lightly on the 5th fret of the B string, and again 5, 7, and then the 7th fret on the E string. Now you can hear that wave. Okay, so this is not in tune. The other way you can tune the E string is a similar way that you tune the B string. Go to the 7th fret of the H string or the fifth string and play the open E. Here's another way of tuning with harmonics. We start with the E string, low E string, or the sixth string. We're going to play the harmonic at the 12th fret. Now we're going to finger the 7th fret of the 5th string, or the A string. So we'll play them together. Okay, you can hear a bit of a wave here. Most guitars cannot be tuned exactly across the entire neck. That's because the frets are straight across, and sometimes they don't actually ideally match the pitch where the fret is located. That's the short answer, which I'm going to keep as the answer, okay? So anyway, getting back to the tuning, 12th fret, harmonic, 7th fret, fretting. Do the same thing with the next string. Next string. Now to the G is different. You want to go over here to the 8th fret on the B. And now you go back to your 7th fret on the E string. There you go. So whatever tone you start with as your beginning pitch, you don't change that string. So if my first pitch is a low E, for example, I don't want to change that. If I know that that's in tune, I want to change the keys that correspond to the other strings. Another method also combines harmonics with a fretted note. Now we're going to go to the 12th fret with the string with the harmonic. So in this case, let's go to the low E, lightly touching right over the fret, and lightly touch the string. Now we're going to go to the 2nd fret of the D string. So we're going to skip a string and go down over to the 2nd fret. 12th fret of the A string. 2nd fret of the G string. 12th fret of the D string. This one's different. We're going to go to the 3rd fret of the B string. And likewise with the next set of strings. G harmonic, fretted G on the high E string, 3rd fret. One more method. We're going to go the harmonic on the low E string on the 7th fret. That pitch is B. Now, we did this before. We hit the open B before. Let's go to the 4th fret of the G string this time. This tells you if your G string is in tune. And now let's go to the next string. 7th fret, harmonic. Now we go to the 5th fret of the B string. And fret that and play it. And we do the same pattern for the next string. 7th fret harmonic on the D string. Fretted 5th fret on the high E string. Again, because of the position of the frets, you're never going to get the guitar 100% in tune. It's not going to happen. So what we do is we have to make compromises. So you'll find that, one method, the strings will be in tune. You go to another method and they're slightly out of tune. So you have to make minor adjustments to the tuning, and that's, again, because of the way that the guitar is constructed with, primarily the reason is with the frets this way. Now, there's some people that have made guitars, the fret is divided into 6 pieces, and they actually move each piece a slight amount to have the pitches match perfectly on the entire fretboard. Such a guitar is not that common, but they are out there. So if you ever see a guitar with kind of like jagged looking frets, they're not straight across, in other words, that guitar is tuned so you can tune every single pitch. Here's a method where you use octaves to tune. So let's start with a third fret of the G string and play the open G string with a third string. Now let's go to the second fret of the A string and play the second string, or the B. And now we go to the second fret on the D string with the fourth string. We're going to play the open E string, the high open E string. So I hope this brief introduction to tuning has helped you out and that you'll find this useful. See you next time.